Now let's talk about your entrepreneurial journey, not your significant entrepreneurial journey. And I think that also had two phases. First phase, so I think that's probably 2010-11, you got into grocery e-commerce, and I think that's around the time e-commerce was taking off. Even I was also transitioning into fashion e-commerce around the same time frame, and it was on one hand 2010 to 15-16 was kind of golden age of e-commerce in India, but it's also coincided by like all companies, including Myntra, burning insane amount of money to get to some scale. In retrospect, I think we laid the tracks, right? So which is probably going to help create better business future. But at some point, you throw your ring in the hat. Also, you in some ways went after both the largest category and the hardest category, right? So let's talk about that. Initially, what convinced you? And you already said roti kapda makan so many times. Was that one of the factor of starting grocery retail company?
So the starting point of grocery, right? So this was the time Make My Trip had gone public in 2010 kind of thing. I was almost like 7-8 months post IPO, and in some sense I was not very enjoying the not as per the job, but the direction that Make My Trip wanted to take kind of thing. So I didn't see myself fit in over there kind of thing, right? So obviously the plan was to do a next startup kind of thing, right? So the reason I have already quoted, right? What Abraham Lincoln said, right? The best way to predict the future is to create one kind of thing, right? So the starting point was actually personal, and I strongly believe that whatever problem statement that you're trying to solve kind of thing, you should have gone through the pain point and should be passionate about it, that one, right? So the starting point to do the grocery was Julie, my wife, was pregnant. She was 6 months pregnant, and then we were standing in the checkout queue of a grocery store, right? So this was easy day in the Walmart stuff. And we were probably 4th or 5th in the queue. The guy in the front was fighting over some change, right? That classic one, right? कि 2 रुपया change नहीं, एक layers ले लो आप. And then the guy was saying, एक layers नहीं चाहिए, मुझे पैसे चाहिए. And I was saying, boss, everything in this basket, right? From the Ashirwad atta to everything else, I exactly know, right? Why do I have to come and make this purchase kind of thing, right? So it started as a pain point, personal pain point, and then that triggered कि क्यों नहीं हो सकता है kind of thing, right? And then I said कि anyways I want to do the next startup kind of thing, right? This looks like an interesting category kind of thing. Obviously, we have lived in US and Bay Area. Webban was very popular at some point of time, and I was a customer, right? And all of us knew the debacle of Webban, right? It was largely driven by the good innovation kind of thing, but they were not focused on bottom line. And anyways, I was a very bottom line guy, right? So the category attracted me. That grocery as a category looked interesting, right? But also there was a sense of maturity. Ki boss, very smart set of people who tried to do Webban did not work out kind of thing. And in general, retail is a tough market, and within retail, grocery is a even tougher kind of thing, right? So if you look at the India landscape in 2011, right? You guys were there in terms of Myntra, then there was Flipkart and Snapdeal kind of thing. But still, I would say early days of internet e-commerce in India kind of thing, right? So what was very clear, and given the bottom line guy that I was in, right? So what was very clear was that people are spending an insane amount of money in customer acquisition, whether it's discount or whatever kind of thing, right? And logistics kind of thing. And those were the two, in some sense, if you look at e-commerce, like these were the two places where a lot of cash was going in kind of thing, right? And is there a way to optimize that one, right? I feel that grocery as a category, right? Given, let's assume, unlike let's assume fashion or watch or any other apparel, any other category, right? Wherein your purchase is maybe like twice or thrice a year kind of thing, right? Grocery is literally 4 times a month kind of thing, right? With that repeat purchase behavior, right? So if the experience is good, right? You will again buy again, which means the retention is going to be high. If the retention is high, then overall your cost of customer acquisition over a long period of time should be quite low kind of thing, right? Likewise, with the huge volume that you are serving kind of thing, your chances of optimizing logistics is going to be much better kind of thing, right? So those were so while I picked up the category as a grocery, but if you go deep below, the plan was to see customer acquisition cost and the logistics cost, and is there a play that can be done there, right? Plus on top of it, like in terms of the uniqueness, right? And there's a reason why you picked up the word now. So if you look in 2011, if you ordered something from any of the e-commerce, this thing, the typical delivery was like T+3 or T+4 days or T+2 at best kind of thing, right? So you order on a Monday, you will get it on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Friday kind of thing, right? So the goal was that if nothing else in the grocery, if you can build up a same day delivery network, there's a value to the same day delivery kind of thing. Now, a whole lot of people are doing the same day delivery, but the same day delivery, we felt that if a network can be built on the same, for a same day delivery kind of thing, that itself is quite valuable, kind of, right? So that was the genesis of starting ZopNow, right? Category being large, internally, let's try to see if the customer acquisition and the logistics can be optimized, and if nothing else, the logistics itself can be a large enough business kind of thing. And the goal that we had set for ourselves was not along the top line, but is there a way we can improve the bottom line kind of thing? Is there a way this can be operationally meaningful, right? So that's how the journey started, right?
So you're going after the large category, which are a high frequency use case, low margin category, and from day one you wanted to build a highly efficient supply chain. And I think to a large extent you did. So let's first talk about what went well in the ZopNow journey.
So what went well, right? And what eventually ZopNow in some sense transformed into ZopSmart now, right? What went well is the reason why we are making a whole lot of money right now, kind of, right? So what went well was our ability to take the decision that we are going to build up the most interesting piece of tech stack, kind of, right? So, and I still believe we have a very strong edge when it comes to the entire omni-channel tech stack that we have built, right? Whether it's the way we have built up the front-end website, the mobile app, or the inventory management system, or the warehouse management system, or the logistics, picking, packaging, so on and so forth, right? So our continued focus on improving the bottom line by using technology, I would say, has been there since 2011, kind of, right? So that I would say has went well, and that's the reason why we are making money right now. Like that, tens and 20s millions of dollars that we are making is because of that investment, kind of, right? So I would say that went well, kind of, right? What didn't go well in the earlier part was like the team formation, I would say. So when I started, there were two of us as founders who started that part up as well, and then after a year, like both of us wanted to take the company in two different directions, kind of thing, right? Thankfully, given the Zoesis experience, that this time I was much more matured. Like, there was still some rash decision kind of thing there, but I think the very fact that ZopNow survived and ZopSmart is doing phenomenally well gives me the comfort and the feeling that unlike Zoesis, this time getting the wrong person off the bus and making sure that the bus still continues to run, I would give ourselves a very strong mark. And I think that is purely reflected in the current financials that we have, right? So what went well was the investment in the technology and being very persistent about it. That despite and we had external investors, we raised close to 15 odd million. There was a constant pressure of growth because 2011, 12, the entire thing was grow and grow kind of thing, right? And where we were totally focused on bottom line. So the persistency of using technology to keep on improving, wherein we strongly believe that is valuable, I think that was fantastic, and we are seeing the results in our head. Downside, I think team-wise, I think we should be slightly more mature. But again, on the positive, within literally 12, 13, 14 months, I took the decision that if this is get the wrong person off the bus kind of thing, and this time I think at least financially we agreed on a number, and then I personally, so this is another interesting point since you're talking about the entrepreneurship journey, right? And this I learned at Amazon, right? If there is a mess up, then you take that accountability. The company should not be penalized for that one, right? So I was wrong in picking up the founder. I'm not saying the person was bad kind of thing, but I'll say that we were not meant to run the company together, right? So the fact that within 15 months I took the decision to take control and kind of thing, right? That was, I think, again, learning from Zoesis and the past experience kind of thing. And I took the call that we finally agreed on a financial number. And something that I'm still very proud of is while the company, we had raised money. So the company had money, and I could have gone back and dipped into the company reserve and used that company reserve to square off the other founder kind of thing. But I took the call that, hey, this was my mistake, right? I should have been more cautious in doing this one, right?